Oh, we're back with episode 20 of the Bold North Sports Podcast. We did film last week. It wasn't good enough. We were pretty sappy about the loss last week against, or I guess 2 weeks ago, against Green Bay. And then we didn't film one right away against the Lions because, season was over. Had to really take it in.
Somebody was in Arizona.
Yeah, so I was also gone in Arizona, so it was kind of difficult to do that. So, but here we are, end of the season, talking about the draft, and
back in our usual spot here.
Yeah, we had to go to the garage
a couple times.
Few episodes ago. Just because we found the perfect spot, but couldn't do it in our normal spot due to professional reasons. But yeah, Ev, season's over. It goes just like that.
Yeah, we say this every year. It's like I seen something on Twitter the other day. It's like I thought it was training camp like yesterday.
Right.
And now it's like arguably the worst time because everybody has different opinions of what to do for the next year. So your fan base kind of splits into different scenarios of what they want to do and what you do with your franchise. And
yeah.
I don't know, this is the type of time where do you fully trust Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell to do the right things? Because I think this is the offseason where it's going to make them or break them, really. Because if they screw this offseason up, I think realistically, the way the NFL coaching is you got to have a short leash. And I don't want to say fire Kevin O'Connell because I truly believe in Kevin O'Connell, but the way this year is if we repeat this year with all the turnovers and the poor play calling and not playing to win, you have to take a deep dive. And if you're not competitive next year, you have to really take a deep dive of Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi. Because I think once one of them goes out, the other one will too.
Yeah, and notice how you didn't include injuries because obviously that's just a natural part of the game. But O'Connell, even with the injuries and the guys that went down this year, I mean, he still found a way to keep us in games, and so I thought that was very impressive, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, Vikings Twitter's horrible.
I know
they always go for everybody's heads, and they're always expecting the best out of the Vikings, even when they're depleted in almost every single way. So I think Kevin O'Connell has some good going here, and I think once everybody comes back and you get Kirk back, because Kwesi already expressed his interest in bringing him back, I think things are going to be just fine. The only reason they have this high of expectations for him is because we went 13-4 last year.
I know. I just will say the one thing that kind of questions that is I felt like the last two games we just haven't come prepared.
Oh, yeah,
especially
for sure.
The Green Bay game. I know you want a high draft pick to pick your quarterback because that's what Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi wanted, but now Kirk coming out saying he wants a team-friendly deal might change that. But the Green Bay game, not so much a Detroit game, but the Green Bay game, you're at home. It's a primetime holiday night game. You have to come out and show it. And Jaron Hall wasn't ready at all. And it just seemed we came out really flat and there was no life. And the Detroit game was the same way for starting out. The play calling and everything wasn't there. But they came together and actually showed what kind of offense they could be, even with Nick Mullins and without T.J. Hockenson, with the superstars they have on the outside, they're both really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that game against Green Bay, you could tell that Hall was definitely a little rattled and just had a lot of slow reads and didn't really get the ball out as quick as we wanted him to. And then you bring back Nick Mullins, and he has those kind of games where he throws for 400 yards, a few touchdowns, but also a few picks as well.
But his press conference makes up for all of it.
Oh, I love the man even more.
Is that Heisey again?
I don't know. We're watching women's hockey right now. This is so much fun.
That has to be Heisey. Yeah. Give her the hat trick.
Shout out Lake City, Minnesota.
No, that's not Heisey. But we're still winning.
Still.
Sucked me right back in. Minnesota sports gets a new team.
Yeah, but like I was saying, Nick Mullins, that end of the year press conference is exactly how every single fan has felt this year, and it's been such a roller coaster of a year, and everything that has happened with all the injuries and the turnovers, and once we finally got an advantage, something had to happen, and he actually got a little choked up too, and I thought, oh man, now you're gonna get me, and
that's the one thing I will say. It's a great press conference, but it's just me. It's every time Minnesota is a great place to play. Everybody loves it. Well, you just don't win.
Yeah.
Like, when are we going to start, like, winning? Because I feel like it's on every sport. Like, everybody loves to be in Minnesota for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it is a great place. Like, I love it. You love it. Like, it's a great place to live and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, when is it going to be, like, a press conference where it's like, we just won a Super Bowl, then you express it? Like,
Yeah.
it's always, like, after a season like this, a disappointing season, riddled with injuries and everything, and then at the end of the year, you're like, well, I love it here. It's like, you gotta be saying this stuff when you're winning. Like, if this was after, like, an NFC Championship game, it's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Not taking it away from them. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's a great place to play, but...
Right, great place to play, but if you're not winning, then nothing really matters.
Exactly.
And, but they don't see it that way because they're living their best lives and they're living their dream job. Yeah, exactly. Right. If they don't win at the end of the day, they're bringing home a big paycheck. And for us, we spend a lot of money, whether that's even getting the TV stream network to watch them or even going to the games physically.
Well, anything about it, look, we buy more gear than the average fan.
Yeah, that too. So you invest a lot of time and money into your favorite team, and it's just it's kind of sucks the life out of you when you've been a fan for so long. I can't even imagine being. I actually know this guy. He lives in the neighborhood. You might know him too. He's been a fan for. Oh gosh, I think ever since they were a team, and I just could not. I couldn't put myself in those shoes of that guy. He's seen so much, and we talk all the time.
But it's like that way. But like it's January now, we haven't even been done with the season. I'm looking forward to next year. So I guess there's always that.
Yeah,
it's painful, but like when you don't have it, it's even more painful. Now you have to ride the Wolves in the Wild, and then the Twins, and then. Just like that, it'll be training camp again.
Mm-hmm. I don't mean to keep us in a little spot, but what day is it today?
January 10th. Oh, Blair Walsh Day. You didn't need to really say that.
8 years ago today.
I've already seen that like 3 different times on Twitter. It was...
Yeah. 8 years ago. I don't think we would have went...
What were we in? 8 years ago, we were in what?
8 years ago, we would have been in...
7th grade? 6th grade?
6th grade, yeah. Or 5th grade. One of the two. But... no.
If you think about it, so that's 8 years ago today is 2016.
Mm-hmm.
2 years we were in the NFC Championship, so that was 6 years ago. We made the NFC Championship game 6 years ago already.
Yeah.
That's almost crazy to think about.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's insane how, like, fast it goes. And
oh, yeah.
Like, 2020, so 4 years ago was the Saints. We liked that from Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of Rudolph back in the end zone.
Yep.
Where I ran over here after the game.
4 years ago, yeah.
It's just insane how fast stuff goes. All the good things seem to go by way faster.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the last championship is 1991. Like, that's insane to think about. The Wolves haven't made it.
Oh, for the Twins, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, in general, all the sports, the Twins haven't won since 91. The Wolves haven't made the conference finals since the years we were born.
Yeah.
Like, it's just everything. It's crazy to think about. Mm-hmm. It seems like all the good things are so long ago, and all the bad things are current.
Yeah, and I mean, just the months of September to February is it just goes so quick.
But it's the greatest time of the year.
Well, I know, and that's what makes it go by. So, time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, it's a very true statement. And then all of a sudden you got the dog days, but you know what? You got the Wolves, even though they lost tonight, but still got the Wolves on the rise, and Twins.
Boston refs, come on now.
Twins spring training coming around the corner.
I feel like every time we bag the refs in every video, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because that clip against the Lions fans.
Yeah, we had some very angry Lions fans in our comment section. I mean, we don't care, we will say whatever, and you know what, maybe we are a little emotional, but that's why we're
too emotional.
That's why we're a biased Minnesota sports podcast.
That's what Minnesota sports does to a person.
That's what we do, I think we can, empathize with you guys on a level of, disappointment.
No, they have the Red Wings.
But
they have the Red Wings, but they still have the Pistons
and
now.
They got the Pistons too. Tough. And the Tigers.
Did you hear about what they did this week?
No.
You can't wear a Stafford jersey to the Lions playoff
game. Oh, yeah.
That's...
Come on, guys. Really?
That's brutal.
You're going to host your first playoff game in 30 years and make that a rule? Like,
Stafford did so much for your city and so much for your team.
You guys are going to lose anyways. So, like, what's, the I'm excited for a lot of the matchups, actually. And it's kind of weird how a lot of them correlate to one another. You know, like especially in the NFC. Like the Packers are playing Dallas. The Packers have never lost at AT&T Stadium ever before.
They better not win. I swear.
Let's make it the first this time.
Did you see the Jair when the lady was talking?
That was so funny. Like, here's a fan. Like, oh, you're about to get fired.
The Pack is back.
Pack is back. It's just like, and she goes, oh, it's a fan. I'm just like, oh boy.
That's
good luck staying at your job if you don't know who that is.
That's Jair Alexander.
Yeah, by the way, that's JJ's son right there. So
what about Jordan?
Or Jordan. Yeah, Jordan's nephew, JJ's son.
You pick your poison.
Yeah, I mean, one of the two. They're all interlinked with each other. But yeah, that was really funny. I thought that was hilarious.
Come on, get in there.
And then you also got the Rams Lions. You got Stafford returning to Detroit. And then you also got Eagles Bucks. That one doesn't really have a correlation.
I do. I hope Baker Mayfield throws 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, if the Eagles can just get eliminated right away, that'd make my entire season. I'd be like, yep, well, as long as they're not able to win, it's cool. I seen some. So, usually, like, it was some Viking fan posted, like, a picture on Facebook, and they're like, go whoever's playing, like, Green Bay and the Lions, and then some guy goes down there, like, you have to support your division in the playoffs. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Like, whoever says that, like, whenever Minnesota makes playoffs, you know damn well every other team wants them to lose in the postseason. No. It's the same thing, like, I'm going to root for the Rams, and I'm also going to root for Dallas. Obviously, I'm going to root for Dallas. Yeah. Obviously.
I'm never going to be like, oh, at least our division won the Super Bowl
this
year. No, I'm not going to. That's horrible. I would not. Everybody's going to be like, yeah, you know what, the Lions deserve it. I don't give a shit how long it's been. No. Like, I will cheer for them to lose.
Ever since they celebrated TJ's injury, I like my respect for the Lions of just like, how do you root for TJ Hawkinson to tear his ACL after he was there for 4 years?
Right, like what?
He's arguably the best tight end in the league.
And now your own tore his ACL as well.
Hyperextended his knee.
Oh, did he?
He might play this week.
Oh.
So I don't know. I just
looked bad.
I mean, whenever you root for an injury, you're not a very good person.
No,
like, how do you sleep at night?
That's horrible sportsmanship. Should never root for an injury or just because they were on the other team and whatever. But yeah, like I was saying with the other teams, Cleveland and Houston, that's another one where it's like, oh, it's the Deshaun Watson Bowl.
Even though Deshaun's not playing.
Yeah.
Because Deshaun can't stay healthy.
Right.
And now I'm actually excited to see what CJ Stroud does this week because he's a baller.
Oh, absolutely. I think he should win. I mean, obviously I want to say Jordan Addison, but I think
Kirk stays healthy, he wins it.
Yeah, maybe, but I think Stroud wins Offensive Rookie of the Year this year.
All right, we got to turn back to the sports. So I use CJ Stroud as a transition. Should we pick a rookie quarterback?
In the first round, no.
What should we do?
Got to go defense.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I really do think. I'm sorry we kind of like briefly cut off the playoffs, but now that the Vikings aren't in, I'll watch the games and stuff. I'll probably root for Cleveland for Stefanski.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I'll probably root for Tampa Bay.
Stefanski's coach of the year for sure.
I just think the Niners might be the year of the Niners. They're so complete.
Oh yeah. Imagine having a team like that.
We beat them at home.
We did beat them. Yeah.
Those the good years, or the good part of the year.
The good part of the year was that little stretch there.
But yeah, I don't know. I think now that we're in the off season, a lot of questions need to be answered. And I think the number one question of the off season, I don't really know. What do you put first? Do you put the QB conversation, or do you put re-signing JJ?
Well, I think a lot of people already know that if one happens, the other's going to follow, no matter which way you go with it. If you sign Kirk, JJ's going to stay. You sign JJ, Kirk's going to stay. They both.
You see, I don't. Okay, so the thing is for whatever reason, I don't think this front office, says they're in love with Kirk, but I really don't think they are.
No, because
they keep playing patty cake with it, and they're one day they're like, well, the rookie quarterback, let's move up, and then last week the report came out they were going to give up the farm for Anthony Richardson. I don't agree with giving up the farm. If we were a Super Bowl favorite next year, without a quarterback, I would give up the farm.
Yeah.
But in the current state, you don't need to give up a farm for a quarterback.
But you got to also remember that they let Kirk play. They were just going to let him play out this year. They didn't even think about an extension at all. So that report probably is true, considering that, they were definitely planning on going to get the quarterback of the future. But Colts thought we were going to be good, so then those picks that we gave them wouldn't have been anything worth to them, which I guess, if that's true, I guess I get it.
Do you think that the Kirk injury plays a big factor in the wanting to re-sign him?
No, not really.
You don't think so?
If it was like a skill player, like if, let's say that JJ tore his Achilles, right, and he's up for eligibility.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like, you can't really say JJ because JJ's missed arguably half the season this year.
Okay, let's say that we didn't sign Hawk to an extension yet.
Okay. That's a good example.
Right. It's hard to. I think that would be a harder decision because with quarterbacks, if they tear their ACL or their Achilles, it's not really that big of a deal. They'll be able to come back.
But I think that ever since they traded for TJ, that the extension was going to come because that was Kwesi's first big move of his tenure in Minnesota. So I think like his extension was a lock. Do I think, looking back now, that they did it wrong? I think so. I think they should have extended Jefferson first.
Oh, yeah.
Just because he's your homegrown guy. Like, I love Hawkinson. I'm happy he's going to be here in the foreseeable future. But you have to lock up 18.
Oh, yeah.
Because whatever you do is your tenure. If you lose Jettas, that's all you're going to be remembered for.
Mm-hmm.
Is losing the best wide receiver, maybe arguably the best player in football right now.
Yeah, and like if you want to keep this competitive rebuild that Kwesi's been trying to do, which I don't even know what a competitive rebuild is, honestly.
I think I think what it means is you're trying to be competitive, but you're also trying to
you're trying to
younger.
bring it. Yeah,
I think you're just trying to get younger.
Trying to get younger, but not get rid of your core guys that make the team competitive. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think Money Rob can do it this year?
Rob has always been able to pull it off.
Jefferson, Darisaw, Bynum, and Kirk?
Well, see, that's the thing, is that you don't necessarily have to do Darisaw and Bynum yet.
True.
I mean, you can.
True. Is Bynum and Darisaw in the same year? Did they get drafted in the same year? Or is Bynum with Diggs? Or not Diggs, but Jefferson?
Bynum is with Darisaw, I believe. Yeah. Because he would have been up for an extension last year.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah. So, and they didn't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, unless if they just didn't say anything because he didn't do anything, but
true.
It would have been a notable thing, like, oh, this guy's up for extension.
But the way he played this year, he earned his money.
Right.
I don't know. I think the biggest question so far is I don't know, because they're stuck. They're in a slippery slope right now because Jefferson should be the first priority.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jefferson will make your team instantly better.
The problem is that JJ probably won't sign unless Kirk does.
Very true, but if there's a 6-year, $180 million deal on the table for Jefferson, I don't think he cannot sign that.
Right, but I don't know if Jefferson's all about the money. I think he's more about wanting to win. And if he doesn't have a quarterback like Kirk who's here, and the Vikings are like, yeah, we're probably not going to sign Kirk back. We're going to go get a QB of the future.
But what if you take Jaden Daniels? That's this LSU boy.
Well, yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be there, and I don't want to trade up.
Yeah, because then you're just giving everything up again.
I honestly, what they realistically should do is if Kirk takes a free team-friendly deal, like Kirk for $30 million is a steal.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Because Dallas is planning to sign Dak for $55 million a year.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, Kirk's better than Dak.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty close. I mean, but if Kirk, we've said before, Kirk, he knows that his window is closing. His age, he's getting up there. He'll be 36 next year, or this year. And it's not all about the money. I think he said in his press yesterday that he's been blessed with a lot of financial advantages and being able to get all the money in the world that he's ever wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He's made over $100 million,
over 100 from us.
Yeah, if I was in his position, knowing that I have $100 million, I'm looking at the team like, I want to get some more assets here. I want to keep everybody that I can, and I would go down to at least 20 mil, honestly, just to so it's enough.
What do you sign him to? What is the years?
2 years, I would say.
I would give him 3.
It depends, because
give him 3 and then have that like third year be like an option, like a team option.
Yeah,
because I think like what happens because in 2 years, so Kirk's what 35 now.
Yeah.
So what if Kirk we sign him to a 2-year deal and he just balls out again? He just goes
as a
crazy.
Little Rich Gannon kind of.
Well, because if you think about it, like Kirk is in probably his best situation of his career.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's got 2 superstar receivers. He's got the best tight end in football. His offensive line has played well. We signed Dalton Risner. We'll be good there.
Yep.
And you just gotta go.
Right.
I just think like in 2 years we could be in the same spot. But then that a 2-year deal makes sense if you pick a quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
Because then you just let it run.
I think that what they have to do, if they're going to give a long-term deal, they can't be picking somebody like Penix or Nix.
No, it has to be a young guy.
Because when those guys finally come in, they're going to be already in their prime.
As much as I hate to say it, you got to just look at what Green Bay did.
Right.
With Rodgers and Love.
Yeah.
Because Love got to sit behind Rodgers for 4 years.
Yeah.
And now or 3 years.
Yep.
And now he's finally getting to see what he can do.
Yeah. And
he's not terrible.
I get it that, because you look at Caleb Williams, he's 21, 22. You look at Drake May, he's 21, 22. Daniels is 23. And then it really just kind of drops off after that. And J.J. McCarthy he didn't really do much against Washington, but he didn't have to because they were running the ball all over Washington. But I would not be mad with J.J. McCarthy. I think he's a great guy. Just the right attitude that you want on your team. I don't care if the meditation shit is corny or whatever. I think it's cool. I think it's great that he is getting focused before games. And
I honestly think with this, if you re-sign Kirk for 2 years, I honestly think in the draft you pick the QB that has the measurables you want in an age of 20, 21, 22.
Yeah.
Because I think like a Penix is going to be too old, like you said, but like I think sitting behind Kirk, you're going to learn so much.
Oh, yeah.
So much. But then that's the other thing is like, what do you do with Jaron Hall?
Yeah, you keep him. I mean,
because typically in the NFL now, you carry 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well,
so
Dobbs already kind of said he's going to go test the market.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah. There's no really place for him here.
Mm-hmm.
But Nick Mullins
is an unrestricted free agent.
He can leave early. He's not very good.
No, I mean, he's fine. He just needs to clean up a few things. But
I think he fell into the category of playing superhero ball.
Yeah.
When you're backup, you don't need to play superhero ball. You just need to be a game manager and get the ball to your superstars.
I think it's Kirk, and I think it's the new QB, and I think it's Jaron on the practice squad.
Do you trust Kevin O'Connell to groom the second quarterback?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's what he's waiting for. Obviously, he loves and respects Kirk.
I think Kirk would help that scenario. So much.
But I think KOC is waiting for that to happen. He knows how much success he'll have with Kirk, so his job will be okay down the road. But he's waiting to groom that quarterback that he wants. And he has like the same measurables as Kirk. He's 6'3", about the same size.
He can run more.
Probably he's more mobile than Kirk, but I think Kirk's probably got the better arm.
True.
But not saying that JJ doesn't have a bad arm. A
prospect that I've recently fallen in love with. That Jaden Daniels is awesome.
Daniels,
he won't be there. And it's not. And that's the other thing. You can't trade up if you re-sign Kirk because with you signing Kirk, you have to take a quarterback.
Yeah.
Not a quarterback, but the best player available.
Yeah. The one thing I love about Daniels, and it's actually very impressive, is his deep ball accuracy is insane.
That's the same thing with Penix.
Yeah.
But I don't really like Penix because nothing to do with. I don't really like that he's a lefty.
Yeah.
And he throws the ball so weird too. That's another.
He's got a very weird arm slot it's kind of like a sidearm, but it's not. But I compare Michael Penix to Hendon Hooker a little bit. Very injury prone quarterback, old.
Older. He's not old, but he's just older for.
He's old for the usual prospect. Yeah.
But that's a lot of these guys are, like, these are the couple drafts because they all have the COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
Because Penix had that COVID year.
Yeah.
And so did Bo Nix.
And it really isn't a bad thing when you're this old. A lot of guys are actually kind of starting to transform into this more experienced kind of thing, you know. But for a team like us who has Kirk, I mean, we're just going to groom the guy until he gets to that point either way. He's got more experience in the NFL learning behind someone who's done it already rather than, yeah, you played college for 4 or 5 years, but do you really know what the NFL is like?
Yeah.
And then it's going to take you another few years, and you're already 30 years old at that point. So, I mean, yes, there's good things with having experience in college, but I don't really think that it has an advantage over a 21-year-old declaring, getting drafted, and then sitting behind a vet.
Okay, so at 11, what do we do at 11?
I think at 11...
Well, what if, like, hypothetically, what if it's a Laramie Tunsil situation and a video or picture comes out of, like, Caleb Williams or Jay Daniels and they fall to 11? Do you still take them, or do you take a trade with the team that wants them?
No, I think you take them because the Vikings have done this in their entire career. Randy Moss had issues at Marshall. They still took him at 21. It's the reason that he fell. Yeah, and, you know, there's somebody else that I'm probably forgetting who had issues or whatever, but
Dalvin Cook had issues in college.
Cook had issues, and that's the reason why he fell to the second round. And so the Vikings have always done that kind of stuff where they're like, you know what, we can fix this guy, we can direct him into the player that we want him to be and that he probably wants to be. So if that were to happen, I mean, yeah, you take him. You could fix him up. I'm sure that the Vikes have a real good reputation of doing so. And but if that were not the case, you go defense. Jerson Newton should be there. Kool-Aid's a favorite amongst us, of course.
Nate Wiggins isn't bad.
Nate Wiggins from Clemson, yeah, that's another good one.
Kluber DeJean, I think it's too high for him.
DeJean is tough. I would have taken him if he didn't get hurt.
True. And if he didn't wait for a fair catch.
Yeah, don't have him on punt return.
But that's absolutely fine. But if you would have to put our top 3 needs right now, for me it would probably be edge, corner, and probably interior defensive line.
Yeah.
Maybe interior. We need a center too.
You don't like Bradbury?
No.
No?
I just, like, somebody said something about that. It's just Bradbury's on such a team-friendly deal for an average starting center. It's kind of hard to, like, not extend him or keep him, you know?
Yeah.
We can watch this later. We'll figure this out later.
Yeah, no, I saw a TikTok today or yesterday. I think you might have seen the same thing, but the Vikings interior line is very lightweight.
It's always been bad.
Yeah. I mean, other than having Hutch in there during
You see he made it to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Attaboy.
Also off the top, Mauer's magic number's at 175.
Oh, really?
He needs 175 more votes and he'll make it. First ballot Hall of Famer.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that far O-line was really good. Having...
but I would say right now, our defensive line is worse than our offensive line.
Oh, yeah, we couldn't generate pressure at all. And that's why I think, like, you know, you look at our interior defensive line and you're like, yeah, we got Kyrus Tonger. Yeah, Harrison Phillips had a really good year.
Jonathan Bullard.
Or Bullard. But, you know, you need somebody like, you know, just like a Jordan Davis or a Chris Jones or a Jalen Carter.
I looked, Chris Jones has 10.5 sacks this year from an interior offensive line. That's insane.
Or the guy from the Ravens, Matabuke. You know, you need somebody that can generate pressure, not only be a run stopper. You know, Jerson is great, and then you also look at the cornerback room, and you're like, oh, Caleb Evans. Like, you know, I love the guy. I love the guy when he got drafted here, and nobody really knew who he was, and I thought this was going to be his year. Like, all right, you're the starter, you know, but he got benched again, and then came back, and
did you see he got benched this Sunday?
Yeah.
In the first play he got in, he gave up that 75-yard touchdown to St. Brown.
Yeah.
St. Brown is really good.
Very good.
He's really good.
He definitely gets all the credit, and, you know, every time he lists the receivers, usually that stuff gets annoying. Like, oh, I can name all the receivers taken before me, but guy's a stud.
He is really good.
Yeah. But and then Booth too. I mean, Booth had a solid year. For the 90 snaps that he played, he did pretty solid.
But I think I'd rather have Mekhi Blackman.
Oh, Mekhi is setting himself up for a great sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to pick another corner, and that's Nate or Kool-Aid.
I think that. But the thing is with, like you said it earlier, if that Brock Bowers is on the board at 11, do you take him?
Yeah, just to fill that void if TJ doesn't make it in time?
I don't think so.
No, probably not.
Just sign somebody for cheap.
Right.
But the thing with me is we need defense. We needed defense last year.
Yeah.
And we took Addison in the first round, an offensive guy. So why wouldn't Kevin O'Connell want another offensive guy this year?
Yeah.
Like if that quarterback's there at 11, I think even if Kirk's... Because I think by the time the draft hits in April, we'll know the Kirk situation figured out fully.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about free agency is that it happens before the draft, so a lot of your needs get set and locked in pretty easily, and you can really just kind of set players into that spot where, like, okay, he'll probably be here based on these teams' moves and our moves as well. So, but crazy shit happens on draft night.
Oh,
anyways.
yeah, for sure.
So, especially when someone picks Quentin Johnston before you, Zay Flowers before you. Man, I keep going with all the receivers picked before Jordan Addison. JSN.
But he might be good.
Yeah, he'll be solid.
Yeah.
I wanted JSN. We both did.
We did.
Yeah. But I wasn't mad with Addison.
You called me on draft night when JSN went.
Yeah.
You're like, here comes your run of receivers.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened. It always happens around that 20 spot where some team takes them and then boom, all of them go.
I don't know. But that's the other thing. At 11, if Marvin's there at 11,
Yes.
you do? You do 100%?
Yeah, but it's gonna. I don't know. I don't know how fans would feel about that. But
Because that is a home run pick. That's automatically an A+ pick.
oh yeah,
You put Jefferson in the slot, you just go with it, 3 deep.
yeah.
But I don't. That's the thing, though.
That's not gonna happen.
I know, but
yeah.
there's
I
some
would.
weird stuff that happens.
Yeah. Obviously, you're not going to prepare for that because think about it. I mean, KJ is probably going to leave. They didn't. I don't
Brandon
think
Powell's going to come back, though.
Powell will come back.
And I like that.
I
Powell was
love
good.
Powell, yeah.
Powell is Percy Harvin 2.0. I can't say that enough.
Yeah. I didn't realize that Powell was on that Florida team.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He got arrested, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember watching that when it came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, Powell, yep.
I didn't know
He
he
went
was on
to
that.
Florida, dude. I'm telling you, he is Percy Harvin 2.0.
Yeah, Yeah, he must have been a freshman when Harvin was a senior or something like that because they're like 4 years apart.
Powell's been in the league for a while. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Powell's played for Atlanta. He played for the Rams. He's played for quite a few teams.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I like Powell. Marvin's, that's the other thing, though, is like a team. What if a team would come up and you drop to like 23, but you get a future one?
Yeah. It just depends. Like, because Rick had big balls trading back to 23 that year.
Quasey's traded back, though, a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, Rick.
In division as well. And, like, that's not the biggest, like, factor, but still, you know what I mean? Like, trading back is, if a good guy, a good prospect's there, and it's not a needier team. Like, what if Joel Alt falls to 11?
Well, he's a tackle. That's the thing.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, what if a tackle-needing team at, like, 18 goes,
right,
we'll give you our second and, like, a fifth to move down 7 spots.
And then you go, no, give us a first. You really want. That's the thing. Like, the thing about teams, right? You're thinking about it. You know, you ask them, well, why? Who do you think you're coming up for? You know, like, oh, that tackle from Notre Dame. And you're like, oh. And then you realize that you have leverage. That's how they play it. You know, we're not going to give you the pick if you're not going to give us what we want.
But the thing is, what I hate is, like, what if at 11, if Kool-Aid, McKinstry, and Wiggins is there, and that Newton, is that how you pronounce his name? Jerson Newton, or Dallas Turner, or Chop Robinson's there.
Or Verse, yeah. And
you trade back to 18, and those all go on a string. And at 18, you're like, all the good quarterbacks that we like are gone. Because the way the draft is so weird. Like, all the quarterbacks could go 1 through 6. It could be all quarterbacks with trades and everything.
You just push back a lot of talent, yeah.
And then if you trade back to, like, 18 and all your guys are gone, what do you do at 18? More than likely, you trade back again.
Yeah, or you just pick the best player available. I mean, I don't know. I think Kwesi would definitely have a plan for that. I mean, he's not just going to trade back for no reason because, I think if there's a guy that they like, they're going to take it. They got their big board and they got guys listed.
But the best player available, though, 2 drafts ago, they didn't do it.
No.
2 drafts ago at 14 or 12, they had Kyle Hamilton and Jamison Williams both on the board.
Yeah.
And they decided to trade back.
Right.
So I'm just saying, they decided to trade back to what, 32?
32.
From 12?
And they also got an extra second, too. Or no, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No.
Because then they had to trade back up for Booth.
Yeah.
So that was a terrible trade.
Oh, yeah, now it isn't. No, it is, yeah. That's a bad trade.
Well, even the compensation at the moment. You went back 20 spots for a third.
Because that's the thing is, like, in Kwesi's shoes there, you look at it and you're like, well, if I'm going to trade back 20 spots, you better give me your second as well. And they didn't. So it's like, okay, fine, we'll sit here and take Kyle Hamilton then. That's what I would have done. I would have hung up the phone right then and there.
Or Jamison Williams.
Yeah, or Jamison Williams.
We would have needed another receiver. Because our receiver room at the time was KJ, BC Johnson, Thielen, and Jefferson.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was the same as last year, so did pretty well. So I don't know. You could go a million. Well, yeah, because you took Lewis before last year. Yeah.
Yeah, because you took Lewis 2 years ago.
Yeah, so it would have been fine. You didn't need Jamison Williams, but we knew that
we wanted him.
Right? Yeah, of course. I mean, he was great in college.
But that's the other thing is when it comes draft time, it's always about the sexy pick.
Yeah.
And interior defensive lineman or a cornerback isn't a sexy pick to Kevin O'Connell or Kwesi.
No, it is.
Even though it's not, you got to go with your needs.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go with your needs. Like, if we get Kool-Aid McKinstry, me and you will be going nuts.
Yeah.
Or Nate Wiggins or Chop Robinson or anybody. Like, any defensive guy, we're going to go, like, we're going to know, like, that's what we needed to do.
Yeah. And a lot of people, like, with the Rick Spielman era, when he finally drafted Garrett Bradbury, I was like, thank God we finally addressed it.
You think that was a reach at the time?
No, absolutely not. I think Garrett was a top. I think he was the top
center.
Yeah, he was the top center. Or else if it was Quentin Nelson was that year too, but I don't know.
But he would have gone top 5.
Oh, he's
a guard.
Yeah, that's right.
But he was a top 5 pick.
Yeah, and then when we took,
he was at the time he was the best guard prospect of all time.
Yeah. And then when we took O'Neal as well, I was so hyped about that. I was like, thank God.
O'Neal was second round pick.
Yeah.
That was a great pick.
Yeah.
A really good pick. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it isn't the sexy pick, but it's the pick that you need to make in order for your offense to move.
Yeah, but for this year, it's a defense. So go in, give Brian Flores his shutdown corner.
Right.
Or give him his shutdown interior defensive lineman or edge rusher.
Yeah, again, it all depends because it also depends on what they do with Danielle Hunter. If they bring Hunter back, then you don't necessarily need an edge because hopefully.
Or what if you lose DJ Waddle?
Well, then I mean, I guess you got Patrick Jones, but sometimes I look at Patrick Jones and I'm just like, why is he even out there? What does he do?
Or you give Andre Carter another year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You got guys who can fill the void, you don't know how well they're going to, which, you don't want to put yourself in that situation.
How's the linebackers this year?
That's going to be tough. Because if Hicks, I think he was only on a 1-year deal, right?
2 years, and this was the second year.
So
because they signed him right away. Like, that was like their first free agent signing was Hicks for a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
But he's a free agent now. And if it's all about getting younger, then sad to say, but Harrison might be gone. Hicks should be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then Daniil, it's all about, like, they have to have a plan.
Yeah.
And if the plan is a competitive rebuild to get younger, then paying a 30-year-old edge rusher $25 to $30 million
probably isn't the best move.
Exactly, where you could get Chop Robinson at 11.
Yeah.
Or the kid from Alabama, Dallas Turner,
at
11. It's kind of hard to.
Yeah, but when you put it in that perspective, it's an easy deal to make. It really is. You go, all right, let's look at Daniil here. If we, he had a good year, right? But you can't forget the injury history that he's had with his neck and everything. The little tweak in his neck.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. So, and then he was on the wrong side of 30. I get it. He had 15 and a half sacks this year. But
he had 16 and a half.
16 and a half, whatever.
He got one in the Lions game. He got one in the Lions game. You didn't watch it. So I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I was working. And, but I get it, but he's going to be 30. And he's going to be getting on that other side. If he proves us wrong, he proves us wrong.
But he also said he wants to be here.
I know. But he's going to cost a lot of money. And we just don't have...
That's like the thing is, like, if the whole competitive rebuild, you realistically would have let him walk without any hesitation and be like, you're not a part of our 2 to 4 year plan.
Right. Kwesi has to stick to the plan. He can't do one or the other. He has to stick to one. And that's why I think the competitive rebuild term is a bunch of bullshit.
I agree. Because you're kind of in no man's land. Because if you're trying to get younger, it doesn't really make sense.
That's the thing. You put the two together, it doesn't make sense. But when you separate them, you're like, okay, we're either going to commit to being competitive or we're going to go full rebuild.
Very true.
You have to pick one or the other.
Realistically, at 11, you got to go defense.
Yeah, you have to. Especially if you want Flores to stay, you need to give him the full...
But Flores, by that time, we'll know the situation if Flores is coaching somewhere else or if he's here.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of nice to draft where it is, because, like you said earlier, everything is falling into place of what your plan is going into the draft.
Right.
So...
Yeah.
And the thing is, we cannot... It's red now, you know that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was looking for. It's fine.
Okay, but...
Yeah.
What was I going to say now? Shit. God damn it, I lost my train of thought. We're cooking right now.
Yeah, we are cooking.
We're cooking.
I know. But yeah, with Daniil, it's just... It's tough. You want the guy back because
we cannot franchise tag him, correct?
No, we can't.
We cannot franchise tag him or Kurt.
Nope.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough because...
We would look pretty stupid, if we let go of a guy who...
But what if you think about it? If you get DJ Wanham for 2 years, $16 million, and then you pick an edge in the draft, your edge room is cheap.
Because Wanham's still 25. He's still a young guy.
And he is also coming off a torn quad.
Yeah, so...
That's a tough injury to come off, especially when you're a defensive lineman and you need to plant a lot to get leverage and to go to the quarterback.
So what I think we would have to do here is you let Daniil go, but you spend the money that you would spent on him on someone younger. Maybe not someone as good.
Who's out there, though?
Gary
just got re-signed. He would have been a free agent.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa got re-signed. He would have been a free agent.
There's a guy from the Patriots by the name of Josh Uch. He's pretty solid. He used to be he was a former second-round pick back in 2020, I believe.
What about bringing Marcus Davenport back?
No, that dude doesn't want to play.
You wouldn't bring him back for $4 million?
Yeah, I'll bring him back for cheap, but paying him $13 million again is insane.
That was a dumb pick.
I think Kwesi... I could see what Kwesi was trying to do there, because Davenport's a freak when he's on the field.
But that's... so if you go back to that, how old is Marcus Davenport?
26, 27.
So he's the same age as DJ Wanham.
Yeah.
And DJ Wanham was on his rookie contract this year. Why go pay Marcus Davenport $13 million if you're trying to be younger and faster when DJ is there for cheap?
Yeah, and that's the thing about what Kwesi was saying about Booth and Scene not playing much. Like, how are you ever going to know what they're like if you keep signing guys to play in front of them? You're kind of...
Well, you're signing the guys.
Yeah, you're contradicting your statement there. You're kind of like, well, these guys don't play a ton, yet I'm the one who signs players who start in front of them. It's kind of like, well, then don't do that.
Well, if you think about it, if you look back, both of them. So the Andrew Booth, you have Evans who was picked in the 6th round or 5th round, playing over. 4th round, playing over him.
Yeah.
You have Cam Bynum, who's here. He's a cornerback.
Yeah.
He was a 4th round pick, playing over your 1st round pick. So it's like they're getting beat out by guys who were picked in later rounds in them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it all circles back to this competitive rebuild that Kwesi's trying to say.
Or Kwesi swinging missing on every pick.
Right, and that's the thing, is that it looks like a swing and miss because they're not getting the opportunities that he wants them to have, even though he's sticking to this competitive rebuild by going out and signing Byron Murphy.
The thing with Scene, though, is Scene, we'll give him last year. Like, that was... got hurt. But this year, it's not even like he was making an impact on special teams. He was inactive.
Yeah.
So there's like a reason for that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and Scene's also just inactive for most of the game.
Yeah,
he's not even dressing. Hey, how are you?
I don't know. There's a lot to dissect and talk about in the offseason. There's a lot to...
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Do you think the Kirk situation or the Neal situation is a harder one to swallow?
Oh, like if we didn't sign him? Mm-hmm. A Kirk, definitely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Kirk would definitely be, because it's uncertainty. You can always replace an edge.
Mm-hmm.
But finding that quarterback who's able to give the same productivity that Kirk gave is going to be difficult. So you have to make that a top priority to keep Kirk. Daniil, I don't give a shit if he walks, if I'm being honest.
I really don't either.
You can find edges.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot to think about with Daniil, but paying a 30-year-old edge rusher that much money just doesn't make sense.
No.
In Kwesi's plan.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So I don't know what we're going to do. It's going to kind of fall on Kwesi.
Kwesi's plan that he's got written out, he goes against a lot. He calls it a competitive rebuild, yet we don't really know what it is.
I'm looking up projected free agent contracts.
So, I mean, it's, if you want to do a full rebuild, then do it. Go trade, let guys go, trade guys who are of value right now. Start over if you have to. The Vikings haven't had a top 5 pick in 12 years.
Leonard Williams is a free agent.
Oh, well, he's a lot, though. It's going to be a lot of money, which is fine, because then it just comes back to free agency happening before. If you just use the money that you would have paid for Daniil on Leonard Williams, then go pick an edge in the draft, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Happens the other way around.
We've been talking a lot about the edge in the corners. You know what I want him to do at safety? If 22 either hangs him up or isn't in purple next year?
Oh, I know where you're going with
Bring
this.
him home.
But that's not happening.
Bring him
Tampa
home.
Bay would be stupid to not sign him.
Just bring him home. I talked to his dad. I told him to bring him home. So let's bring him home.
Yeah. I would love it. I'm not saying it.
And then trade Scene for like a 3rd round pick.
You're not going to get Scene for a 3rd round
5th?
pick. No.
6th?
Keep going. It's a 7.
2 7s.
He hasn't shown anything on the field.
True. What about Booth? What do you get for Booth if you trade him?
Booth is a 5th or 6th.
And you traded up with him for the Colts to get him.
Yeah. You got to let Booth play it. I still think Booth has. I still think both of them do. You have to give them a few years, and that's the thing about people.
So if Harrison is gone or he's retired or whatever happens with Harrison,
Yeah.
because they got to address that situation. Do you start like week 1 next year? Do you start seeing at your other safety other than Bynum?
No, you start Bynum and Metellus next to each other.
I don't think so. I think you need to get another safety.
Because
I think Metellus in the role Metellus is in right now, it's a great role for him.
Well, then Scene's got to step up and play. Simple as that.
Or you sign number 11.
Or you sign 11, well, for the Gophers he was 11. But, yeah, I mean...
We're referring to Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yeah, but Tampa Bay's not going to let him go. In a fantasy world, I definitely would. If I was a GM, I'd give him everything I could. But I don't think he's going to. I think Tampa Bay is going to offer him a big contract. Probably going to be the highest paid safety ever. I mean...
Until Kyle Hamilton gets his deal.
Yeah, until Kyle Hamilton gets his deal. Kwesi. We wouldn't have that issue then.
Or if we picked Winfield over Jeff Gladney.
Yeah. It's tough to say because... obviously what happened, but the draft is a very interesting process, and a lot of things happen, and you never know who's going to be. You just don't.
Hey, I know.
Some guy's going to come out of nowhere, and
does it scare you a little bit that Kwesi's more of an analytics guy rather than a football guy?
Yeah, for sure. But then again, I mean, you look at. I hate to bring him up all the time.
Don't bring up Howie Roseman.
Well, he never played like organized football at all.
True.
He just he's sometimes people just have it in them and they study the game so much. But Kwesi's the kind of guy that gives first round busts a second chance, and none of those have worked out.
Right. You're only 2 years in this tenure, though.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and the bar got set so high right away. It got with the 13-4 season.
The one thing I will say is with the Addison pick. If it wasn't for Kevin O'Connell, I don't think Jordan Addison's in Minnesota.
No.
Because Jordan Addison was Kevin O'Connell was banging on the table to get him. If you wouldn't have gotten Addison, both of your drafts would have been in half.
Right. If you think that Mike Zimmer would have been still here, that's a defensive pick, for sure. For sure.
True.
But
that's why I think Brian Flores has to have a say in this draft.
For sure. And I think that's got to come up in the talks, that maybe the meetings that they're having right now. It's like, by the way, you're going to be more involved in the draft process. We want to give you the next big thing. Because You look, if you take away Daniil and Harrison, who's a superstar on that defense other than Bynum and Metellus?
You pay Byron Murphy like he is.
Yeah. So
Ivan Pace is a superstar.
Pace is getting there. Pace is definitely getting there, and he will be. I can promise you.
But
that.
would you realistically right now, would you be mad if in April in the draft we pick all defensive guys?
No.
Every single pick's a defensive guy?
No.
I'd love that.
Yeah. You fill in a few offensive linemen. Just go trenches and then just go, get your DB of the future, or you get your, safety or edge. Yeah, I'd do it.
Because I honestly, on the offensive side, all you really need is a running back. And I think if you bring back Akers and you have Ty Chandler, you're set.
Yeah.
And you have Kane.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third receiver, you can have Powell.
Yeah, that's the thing is you look at the offense, and it's like we're set. We just need KOC to be on his shit when he's play calling.
Yeah.
And
I've seen some. Would you be mad if Kevin O'Connell would give up play calling to Wes Phillips?
To Wes?
And have more of a... Or even Keenan.
Yeah, but the problem is sometimes you can't really tell when Wes...
Because it's the thing with Kevin O'Connell is what he's bad at. He's bad at, like... Seems like every time we have the ball, the play clock goes down to 0 or 1,
right.
And we're not just set up structurally before we're.
Yeah.
Like Kevin O'Connell can have a great play calling, but it seems like we're just a cluster.
Yeah, it takes a long time to get it in there. Yeah, I think I don't know because that's the thing is like Wes calls the plays in the preseason just to get that kind of feel for it. If he ever had that situation. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to sneak that in there.
Only in Vegas. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad, but if it doesn't work out...
But if you think about it, if you would take Kevin O'Connell's play calling away from him, what is his real job? Just to oversee the game?
Yeah, there's a lot of head coaches who do that.
Doesn't P.J. Fleck do that?
Yeah. Fleck has 2 offensive coordinators. So...
They both suck.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just think, why not give it a try for a game? Because I know, like Frank Wright did it for a little bit before he got fired in Carolina.
Yeah, you're not going to have the Kyle Shanahans of the world or Mike McDaniels of the world who can call their own plays and, have because they were born in the system. But O'Connell comes from the McVay system, but McVay also comes from Shanahan as well, so it kind of intertwines. But we haven't seen any of the stuff that they do in our offense because it's kind of weird. You look at the Niners, you look at the Dolphins, they got speedy guys, they got athletic players. I'm not saying we don't, but we have a cluster of talent, just not one straight focus identity that we have claimed yet.
All right, one more Kevin O'Connell question.
Okay.
Are you mad that we hired Kevin O'Connell over Jim Harbaugh?
No. Because Harbaugh has struggled a lot at Michigan.
You're not at all?
No.
Even though the resume?
No. He's won 1 national championship. Which I get it. When he was with the Niners, he went to 3 straight NFC championship games and made a Super Bowl appearance. I get that. But as of lately, yeah, he did win a national championship, but it took him a long time to get there,
I know, but you got to think college and NFL are completely different.
Yeah, I know.
So coaching is completely different in the two.
So is the recruiting process. True. In college, you can recruit anybody you want, but in the draft, you only get 7 picks.
Even though that Kevin O'Connell didn't call one play in L.A. in the Super Bowl run?
He didn't?
No, because McVay calls all the plays.
Oh, really? Well, then...
So he just kind of... I mean, I like Kevin O'Connell, but we kind of just signed him off of the Super Bowl run and him being in a productive offense.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, with Kevin O'Connell is a very positive guy. I do like his energy. You definitely got a degree in motivational speaking.
But he needs to get better at his post-game press conferences.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the same.
And I think he's got to go get a master's in game time decisions.
And game management.
Yeah, game management, if that were a thing, But... Yeah, he's got all the speeches down, and yeah, he'll hype you up and he'll make you feel good. But when it comes, time when the lights are shining on you, that doesn't really happen, and that's kind of disappointing. And when it comes to the games, it always happened on 3rd and 4th and short. It always happened in those situations
when we play to not lose,
right? Or when there's 2-3 minutes left in the game, you're up by 3 points. You got to go step on their neck instead. You're
play to win,
right? You're playing not to lose, and
you got to play to win. That's
been
that's how you win football.
That was the huge story this year with O'Connell. He did it countless times, just playing not to lose, and it didn't work out.
Do you think that Kirk should be a big majority of the reason Kevin O'Connell's had I'd say a successful 2 years here.
Yeah.
You think Kirk plays I would say Kirk's 80% of it.
Yeah.
Because we've seen now the ever since Kirk got hurt this year, it's kind of been a cluster.
Sure.
Just a shit show.
Yeah, but he also
Just
got...
simply.
Yeah, but it also just shows the value of him as well. And you just kind of look at the backups. Like I've said for 3 weeks now, backups are meant to be backups because of how well they play.
But that's the thing, though, is Jaron Hall. When we turn to Jaron Hall, we don't know. Shouldn't been labeled as a backup right away.
No.
Because he's a starter at BYU, and he comes here.
Mm-hmm.
But he's 25, 26, so
yeah.
He's older, more of a Bo Nix style.
Sometimes guys just have it. And you can really tell when they don't. You can tell that the game for them is still in college mode and realize they haven't transitioned to the NFL, which is a lot faster. And I think Jaron Hall hasn't really gotten that concept yet. Because, things looked pretty well in Atlanta, but that was only 2 drives. The rest of one drive. That rest of the game could have been shit. We'll never know. But now we do kind of know.
I agree.
No, I'm not.
But I mean, you can't really argue that because Josh Dobbs came in and look what Josh Dobbs is now.
Right.
Josh Dobbs had pretty much one and a half good games here, and after that, it kind of all went downhill.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, guys had their moments. Mullins kind of had his moments. Mullins would make big plays. You're like, oh yeah, cool. But he also make dumb plays. Where you're like, how are you even a quarterback?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
It was a very roller coaster kind of situation with those 3. They threw for 10 touchdowns, but also threw for 12 interceptions.
And Kirk had 18-5.
Right. 8. Yeah. And he stayed at the top of the league for 2-3 weeks after his injury.
He still has more than Bryce Young.
Yeah. So if that doesn't show you or tell you to sign the guy back, and he obviously wants to be here, and he also doesn't think that money is the biggest thing for him right now.
No, if you can get Kirk for under $40 a year, it's a steal.
Oh yeah,
even at $40 million, it's a steal.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because we have a bunch of cap this year.
Yeah, we got a good.
Except for the void years of Daniil, and Kirk.
Kirk's got void years too.
If you sign Kirk, though, those void years would go down.
Right. So, yeah, the Vikes got a good. I don't remember what it was. Maybe 30 or 40. 50 maybe, 50 mil, I don't know.
But that's all going to be gone.
Oh, it'll be gone like that.
You got guys to sign, and you got to go out and sign guys to make your team better.
For sure.
Like another off-the-ball linebacker.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a fun offseason. It's going to be a big one. And a lot of things. I think this... See, if I were in Kwesi's shoes, I would take one route or the other. I think...
And this is that. He's got really 2 weeks... Or actually, after the Super Bowl is when you really got to have your plan set out and you got to run with it.
After the Super Bowl, it's early February. You only got about a month to really plan everything. Get the guys back that you want back,
and then March 15th,
second week of March. Second week of March where the tampering starts.
Dude, it's the best time of the year. It's my birthday.
My God! It's when you're checking your phone 100 times a day. See what JPA football is putting out there. I mean, it's fun, and
we got a podcast now to talk about it.
Oh yeah, now we can get live updates, going scrolling Vikings Twitter, seeing what Rick Sosa says when Kirk gets signed back.
Is he pro or anti-Kirk?
Pro, big time. He's the opposite of Purple Daily.
Purple Daily, I hate those guys. I don't. Did you see the video they had the other week of if they re-sign Kirk, they're going to win 8 games next year?
Yeah,
that is blasphemy. They would have won 8 games this year, starting 1-4.
More, yeah.
Moonwalking the playoffs, Kyle Brandt. I love you.
Well, Kyle Brandt and Peter Schrager have always been Vikings fans. That's what I love. And Jamie's from Minnesota too, so that
even though
helps.
She's not on the show anymore, Kay Adams is a dime.
Kay Adams has always been a dime.
Yes.
Always.
I don't know. I just think, I think if you bring Kirk back next year, that's the most win-now move you can make.
Because if you don't, then you have to go on a full rebuild. You do. I'm sorry.
If you don't bring him back, trading 18 is more likely.
Yeah. And it hurts to say.
What about, even trading 3 away? What if you go in a complete full rebuild?
That's the thing. Is if you're going to commit to a rebuild, you have to commit to it. You cannot keep star players because you're wasting their career.
You could even trade Byron Murphy.
Yeah, it's a disrespect to the players if you're going to keep them here. Be like, yeah, we're going through a rebuild. We know you're very good.
We're too good to go and rebuild.
We've always been too good or too mediocre to go into a rebuild.
We're always in the middle. We're never bad or never good.
Right. And that's why we haven't had a top 5 pick in 12 years. Since Matt Khalil,
But before that, you're bad. We got the best running back of arguably all time.
Yeah, and that was Rick's first draft.
What did we pick Peterson at 4?
7.
7? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and then before that, I don't even... Oh, Troy Williamson at 5.
So we're sandwiched in with one good pick in the top. That's the thing, though, is if we get a top 5 pick right now, what would make Lacey stick and pick when the trade offers are there?
Yeah, you can't go down too far. That's the thing. If you got somebody, let's just say that we were at 5 this year. If you got somebody at 9 who wants to come down, you charge them 2 firsts or maybe even just 1, and you just go there and you just check.
That's why being bad, if you think about it, being bad for 1 year, really bad, just terrible, 2 and whatever,
it can change a lot. Think about when the Niners, which they completely flopped on the pick, but the Niners had no, Trey Lance. They had the third overall pick.
Well, they traded up for it.
Yeah, but did they?
Yeah, they did. They gave up a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, then the last time they were the third overall, or
Solomon Thomas.
Was it Solomon?
And then it was Nick Bosa.
Okay, that was what I was thinking of. Was Bosa when they picked him in 19, I believe.
Well, he was up for he was up for a contract this year.
Yeah, that was his 4th year. So, yeah, I think it was 19. But it takes one bad year to get a really solid guy like him.
Trying to figure out.
Now the Chiefs, that's a different story because they went from 27 to 10, which they also had to give up 3 first-round picks as well. So, I mean, there's teams out there that just have 1 year where they're horrible, and then they finally get the guy that they need, and it just the next year they're back to where they wanted to be before.
Yeah. So the Niners traded 12, 29, 101, and then next year first for Lance to move up.
That's
so
really
12 and 29 in the one draft, and then the next year first.
That's really not that bad.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. That's what you get. That's why I don't sometimes I don't agree when teams trade up to get a quarterback, because it's you're giving up all your farm for one guy and you're hoping that he's picked. And now if you think about it, quarterbacks aren't going like Lamar Jackson. He's probably going to win the MVP. He was picked in the last pick of the first round.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was the last pick of the draft.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, you can find them wherever. You don't have to have... I mean, granted, the top 5 picks are great to get them, but, I mean, Bo Nix will probably go in the second round, and Bo Nix could be a franchise quarterback, a good one. We don't know. That's why the draft's like a crapshoot. You just have to hit on your picks.
That's the thing. It's like you look at Brock Purdy and you look at J.J. McCarthy. They're kind of the same player.
But J.J. McCarthy will probably go higher than people think because of the track record.
Of course.
He's been good. He's won at Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
That's all he's done is won.
For sure.
Where a guy like Michael Penix, he transferred, and then he finally started to win. Because Indiana's never really been good at football.
No.
Except for the one good year they had 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But, Bo Nix, he was at his dream school, and he transferred because he didn't want to play there anymore.
Yeah.
So that's...
And goes to Oregon, has a pretty solid year, loses in the Pac-12 championship, but still, had a solid year.
See, that's the thing. What about a guy like Cam Ward? If he would fall to the third round.
Yeah, Cam Ward would be a solid pick. I like him a lot.
Cam Ward, he's going to fall. People he's just another... No, he didn't really go to a big school. He went to Washington State.
Yeah.
They weren't very good. It's just...
There's other solid guys out there. I mean, Carson Beck from Georgia, he ain't bad. I mean...
But the thing with, a Georgia QB, even Stensis Bennett, look how far he fell last year. Just because Georgia's so good.
Yeah.
Georgia has 5 stars everywhere. And that's the same with every big school. That Milroe next year will go pretty high. He's good.
He might declare this year. Jalen Milroe? He might.
With the Saban news, he might. That might be more likely.
Or he might transfer. Yeah.
Very true.
So it's hard because even Shadur, his next year, he won't be coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
it'll be Shador and Quinn next year, right?
Yeah, because Quinn, that's the interesting thing about Texas, too, is that if they're like, well, Quinn, we don't want Arch to transfer. Arch is going to make Texas a lot of money. Mm-hmm. They're going to give the ball to Arch and be like, well, you can either back him up or you declare or you transfer. I bet Quinn Ewers probably transfers out of Texas. Yeah, they're going to give the ball to Arch.
Because he could go to Ohio State, couldn't he?
He can go back, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He went there.
He went there to collect a bag then left.
He could transfer to Minnesota, too.
Yeah, if you want to come here, that's completely okay. You're not going to compete for the Big Ten or anything, but, whatever.
So is Caleb Williams declared yet?
Yeah.
He did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to see him at Minnesota next year.
He did. May.
Daniels
did. Bo
Daniels
did.
had to, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, after winning the Heisman, I sure hope so.
I don't know. It's
a very fun time, but it's also a very interesting and risk-taking time for sure. It's where you build up your team, and this is Kwesi's third year of doing it, and
hopefully he's learned from his mistakes. That's what I'll say. Hopefully he's learned from his mistakes.
I really hope that Kwesi admits it. Yeah, you know what? I screwed up on Lewis Cine and maybe Andrew Booth.
That's why I hope when they're on the clock at 11, or if they trade up, they give Brian Flores the floor. And they're like, your number one prospect on defense, if he's there, we will take him.
Yeah.
Because do you think a defensive guy will go in the top 10?
Yeah, for sure.
Who?
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean,
I'll get the latest mock.
Verse, Kool-Aid, Jerzon, Dallas. I mean, the thing is that there's very good tackles out there. I mean, there's Joe Alt, there's JC.
Because if you think about it, three quarterbacks will go off the board for sure.
3, Marvin.
That's 4.
Joe Alt.
That's 5.
There's another one. Oh, what's his name? JC Latham could.
So, this mock draft, there's Williams at 1, which I disagree with. Oh, this is old. Why is this coming up?
Yeah, there's another tackle. I can't remember his name, though.
So, this is the Tankathon mock draft. It's my favorite mock draft to look at.
Okay.
So, Caleb Williams goes 1. I disagree with.
Why is that?
I think they should take Marvin.
Keep Fields?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, Fields has played okay the last several games.
You just got to give him a little bit more weapons.
Give him another weapon.
And then pick a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Or a guard.
We're not a Bears podcast.
No, we're not a Bears pack. We're just helping you guys out here.
Let's just put the track record out there. You got to go Marvin Harrison. He's the best prospect in the draft.
Yeah.
Probably the best wide receiver prospect in 10 years.
Yeah.
Who's
ranked that high?
He clears Jettas, but he clears Chase.
Yeah.
You got to think Chase went top 5. Marvin Harrison is way better coming out of college than Chase was.
Oh, I mean, Chase had the numbers for sure.
But if you think about it, Chase kind of babied him way out of college. He didn't play his last year.
That's true. But clearly he was good enough to not have to play.
Yeah, but he's the second best receiver on that LSU team. So Caleb was 1, Mays 2, which I agree with. Daniels is 3.
Okay.
Harrison 4. Then it goes Bowers, Neighbors.
Brock Bowers at 5?
Yeah, same year. They need a tight end, though.
Yeah, they do. But, I mean, I if they went with Neighbors or Odunze, I wouldn't be mad with that either. Keenan's old. And Mike Williams might not come back until a few weeks into he tore his ACL.
So you give up on Johnson after 1 year?
No, I mean it's hard to say, yeah, we want to commit to this guy. He'd had a lot of very important drops in the season.
Okay, so how do you pronounce the kid from Penn State, the tackle?
Oh, that's the guy I was thinking of. Oli Fashanu?
Yep.
Olaf Fashanu?
He goes 7.
I'm not going to say his full name. But
he goes to 7 to Tennessee. Then Turner is the first defensive guy at 8.
Yeah, Dallas Turner, yep.
And then you got Odunze goes to the Bears at 9.
Odunze is fun. I love Rome Odunze.
See, that Bears, so they go QB wide receiver. Go receiver O-line.
Yeah.
1 and 9.
Don't give up on Fields.
He
gives you a dual threat. I mean, yeah, he's got to work on his pass game a little bit, but he still gives you a dual threat look.
So then at 10 it goes Joe Alt. Give A-Rod some more protection.
Yeah, the Jets need offensive line.
Because No, not Mekhi Blackman. Who's their... Not Blackman, but...
Becton,
who's their backside tackle?
Well, Vera Tucker plays guard. I don't know. Could be David Bakhtiari. Could get traded.
That's what I think's going to happen.
But I don't think they got the money. That's the problem.
We're on the clock.
All right.
At 11. Who do we take here? Who is your guess?
I think it'd be Jerzon or Kool-Aid.
In this mock draft. At 11.
Or is it Chop?
Negative.
No defensive players?
No.
It is a defensive?
No.
It's not?
Quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., Washington.
When did this come out? A few days ago?
Yeah.
Like before or after?
Player rankings updated 1 day ago.
Penix is dropping in the second round after his performance in the Natty. That's not happening. And if Kwesi does that...
No, I agree with that.
I would hate that.
But then, so at 11, that the two guys there from LSU...
Yeah.
Or UCLA, my bad. But that guy, I heard he's been injury prone his whole career.
Who?
The LSU or UCLA edge rusher.
Who?
Latu.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah, he's solid. I don't know much.
But then the Newton goes at 13.
Jerzon, okay.
And then Verse goes at 15.
Verse.
Robinson goes 16.
Chop.
19 and 20. Kool-Aid to Green Bay and 20 to Nate Wiggins.
Jesus. Yeah.
Cooper DeJean goes 21. And then the other Alabama cornerback goes 2. Arnold.
Oh, James Arnold? Is that his name?
No, Jaron.
Oh, Jaron Arnold.
Jaron. It's a T. It starts with a T.
What?
Terrion.
Oh, wait, what? Show me. Oh, Terrion Arnold?
There you go.
I don't know.
And then, yeah. And then that Braylon Trice from Washington goes 25.
He's solid. Braylon Trice.
Keon Coleman falls to 26.
Ooh, really? That's interesting.
Amika Ibuka goes 32.
I haven't even thought about Amika.
He's going to be good.
He'll be a solid slot receiver, I think. So wide receiver too. But
ooh, okay. So this has all of the picks.
Okay.
Like so, we're just going to go Vikings and other big kind of names.
Yeah.
The Vikings in the second round go to Chris Jenkins, D lineman, Michigan.
Michigan, yeah, that's a solid pick. I
And
love
then-
that. He had a big game.
But see, that's the thing. At 42, there is 2 quarterbacks still on the board at 42, and they would pick.
Bo.
Yep. Who's the other one?
And Jordan Travis.
No,
No?
JJ.
Oh, really?
But then that's the other thing. That Travion Sweat from Texas, the defensive lineman, he's still on the board.
That's the thing is,
Byron Murphy's still on the board. He goes 48.
yeah. Well, Byron Murphy's good too. He's from
No, this mock draft. I hope this does not go in.
he's from Texas, right? Byron Murphy. Yeah.
And then because that Sweat goes first, he's that Texas D lineman.
Yeah.
And then that's who goes 52 to Green Bay in this mock draft.
Oh boy. Who? No, Newbin.
Yeah. And then with our third round pick, we don't have one from the TJ trade.
Yep.
And that's all it says. Let's go to another one.
I think that in a perfect world, Flores gets his guy at 11, and O'Connell gets his quarterback of the future at 42. Yep.
Okay, so this is the other one. This is another one I went on. So at 11, we go the edge out of UCLA.
Okay.
And we have versus the only offensive lineman taken in the first, or
Defensive lineman.
defensive lineman taken in the first 10 picks.
Okay.
And then that Newton goes 14, so he would still realistically still be on the board. Cooper DeJean is the first corner taken off the board. Holy can't. Yeah, he is. Yeah, wow. Cooper DeJean's the first corner off the board. Then it goes Nate Wiggins at 18. And then the Packers in this one take another defensive lineman in the first round.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't be mad about that.
Jeez. Kool-Aid falls out of the first round in this one.
Really?
No, he's the last pick in the first round of Baltimore.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Baltimore drafts so well. Hate that.
Well, that Chop Robinson goes 27. That kid from Michigan goes 26. Penix goes 24. Nix goes 23. Braylon Trice goes 21. So there's a lot to think about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. This is a very draft-heavy podcast, which is good. This is what it's going to be.
This is what it's going to be for the next 4 months.
The next podcast will probably pull up a mock draft simulator and run one of those.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't really know. We
the Vikes, that's
we gotta save some of this for the next couple videos.
Yeah. The Vikes, that's it. We're in the off season.
Should we go to the next teams?
Yeah. So we watched the Wolves tonight. Haven't won in Boston in, now 19 years. Couldn't close it out tonight. They were up by at least a few possessions, and they collapsed as usual. But yeah, big game.
No Conley or Gobert, so I'm not that mad.
Right, yeah.
They didn't have Porzingis, but we didn't have two starters.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But yeah, Cat had a great game. Noah had a great game.
Ant had a good game, except for the late game turnovers, which sucks.
Right.
He does that a lot now.
Yeah. So
I think he falls into the category of late in the game he tries to play superhero ball.
Yeah.
Which you can't do.
But I'm not worried about the Wolves at all.
No, I'm not really. It's early yet. One game can't really affect what you do. You just gotta, as long as the Wolves make the playoffs and aren't in the stupid play-in, they'll be fine.
Yeah. You just got to secure a top 4 seed at least, and
top 3
to be safe.
Rate, we have to take the top 3.
Yeah,
unless we fall on our face in the second half.
Just win the damn conference at that point. But I think they're still either a game and a half.
I think they're a half game now that they lost.
Maybe a half.
The Thunder.
Right.
The Thunder are scary.
They are. Yeah.
We got our boy Chet.
Yep.
Chet and SGA are a good duo.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And dude, I seen something on TikTok the other day or Instagram Reels that they have so many first-round picks. Why don't they go trade for somebody good?
Yeah,
like a Markkanen or Levine.
Mm-hmm.
You know those two names.
Yeah.
I had to bring them up.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's so hard to talk about basketball because the Wolves have been so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to sit here when you're 28-11 to nitpick the 11 losses because you're 17 games above 500.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard to sit here and go through each loss and be like, well, you could have won this one. It's basketball. You just gotta let it ride.
Yeah.
Hopefully you stay healthy. The one thing I will say about tonight, I just don't agree with resting Mike Conley in this game. Why not rest him last night against a Magic team that had 10 guys injured and not play when this is a marquee game? This is like a test. And I would give them a B+ on this game.
Yeah.
They pushed it in overtime in Boston.
Yeah,
they're legit finals contenders.
Yeah.
They can mess around and make it there.
Yeah, the only reason it wasn't an A is because, one, obviously you didn't win the game, but your late game management. And, Finch just didn't have it.
Cat fouled out. Jaden fouled out.
Right.
There's a lot of variables to it. But looking back, it's like, why are you resting pretty much like the guy who runs your offense in a meaningful game? Even though I get it, it's a non-conference game, but it's a test. It's one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah.
It's a test. It's the first team in the East against the first team in the West.
Yeah.
Which, in January, who the hell would have thought we would have been saying we're the first team in the West?
Right,
Even I was listening to the Boston guys today, and they're like, who would have thought in January we'd be talking about a productive Wolves team?
Right.
All I've known is by now we're 10-30 and we're packing it in for next year.
That's the thing. I've always seen a Wolves team that's only won 20 to 30 games every single year.
And now we're gonna get 30 wins before February. Hopefully we're not Detroit.
That's tough.
But I don't know. That's my one nitpick thing. And I want to see Leonard Miller. Did you see what he did in the G League game last week?
No.
33-10.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
It's like, give him a chance. He can't be worse than Kyle Anderson. Even though Kyle Anderson had probably his best game of his career tonight.
The 17 banger, right? Tonight.
I don't know. It's curious. I'm curious to see what to do with Shake.
Yeah, they'll trade Shake, but I don't know what for. But Shake's just not a good fit, and he hasn't really found a good rhythm on a roll with this team.
It's kind of hard because you kind of get you got your 8 guys.
Yeah.
You got Nas that comes off the bench. Noah that comes off the bench. Kyle comes off the bench. And I mean,
and then you got rookies who are coming up like what's his face? Jalen Clark, is that his name?
But he's hurt all year. He tore his Achilles.
Right, yeah.
So
but I'm saying like for future reference.
Yeah, I'm just saying like I don't. There's really not a need unless you have like. I kind of hope they go out and trade for Tyus Jones. It's just me.
That'd be nice.
He's good. Like, look what he did with Memphis in that second unit when they didn't have Ja last year.
Yeah. Now,
look where Memphis is now because Tyus is gone.
Right.
I mean, would it take, because we have Memphis's pick this year.
Yeah.
The second round pick, so that's high because Ja's done for the year.
That also means that you have, like, two, like, backup point guards because then you got J-Mac and you got him as well. So.
True, but J-Mac could play less minutes.
Yeah,
even though he looked kind of good tonight. He hit a couple of threes. I don't know, it's curious to see. You got your core guys, so whatever other role players you can get is just going to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Wolves are, I mean, as far as their youth, I mean, it looks very good for the next 10 years. I think.
10?
Yeah.
I'd say 10.
Well,
I wouldn't say 10 because in 10 years, Cat's going to be 39, Rudy's going to be out of the league.
Well, I mean, obviously along the way, you're going to...
I'd say 5 to 7 years.
Sure, yeah, you're going to bring in assets. Because the thing about the NBA, like I've said, is that your prime in the NBA runs a lot longer than any other sport.
Yeah,
well, baseball's close, but...
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, so, I mean, you don't have to worry.
As long as you got 5, you're set.
Yeah, exactly. So, but, yeah, exciting things from the Wolves. I mean, yeah, they're on a little bit of a tough stretch right now, but it'll be okay.
It's a season. You just gotta let it ride.
Yeah,
it's like an investment. You just put money in, and then you just gotta let it ride.
Just let it go.
When you look at it, and then you're like,
because you can't just take it out right away after they're losing. You know,
you can't nitpick. You just gotta let it ride.
You can't sell. You just buy, and let it ride.
Yeah. On the other hand, the other team,
I don't know how stocks work, but
the other Minnesota team, we can probably sell.
Yeah, we can sell in the Wild. That was horrible tonight.
Well, you lost 5-2, but it was Jesper Wallsted's first start. Or Jesper Wallsted.
Jesper?
I don't know. He's from Sweden.
Oh, it's got to be something funky then.
So I don't know. It's hard. Kaprizov's out. You got a lot of guys out. I don't know. I think they'll mess around and make the playoffs. This is New York now.
Yeah, New York and Montreal.
Yeah, we're actually watching what was it? The PWHL?
The PWHL, Professional Women's Hockey League.
Minnesota team won again tonight. They're on a fire. They're 3-0 right now.
Yep.
And that's all I really got to say. That's the hockey team you should be watching right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once Kaprizov comes back, hopefully the Wild can find their groove. There's a lot to think about. Like Moose came back tonight for the first time in 5 games, I want to say. But you're still without your top 2 defensemen, Spurgeon and Brody, and even though Faber looks to be a stud, he's really good. He's like averaging like 30 minutes a night, which is insane for hockey.
Really?
Like, because you think about it, a shift's 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
And he's playing half the game.
Jesus.
That's insane to think about. And he's only 21.
Yeah.
So that looks to be a good piece of the Fiala trade, and then you got another first round pick, so kind of curious to see, but I will say Gophers hockey's bad too. They keep losing, even though they're ranked 10th, but the USA just won the World Juniors.
Yeah, saw that.
Jimmy Snuggerud went off, and he's actually a proud Unreal athlete now.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, how about that?
So that does it for the 2 minutes of the Wild.
Yeah, Gophers basketball is looking
both
pretty
of
solid.
them, women's and
men's,
this is looking good. Em's future wife or my future wife plays for the girls.
One of the two. We'll be happy for one another. If
we won't.
We're not going to fight over.
One will go for the girl that plays professional hockey in Minnesota. The other will go for the women's basketball.
Yeah, one or the other. It'll work out.
We're not going to say any names because
no,
we're not giving it away.
No, like we don't want you guys to go out. You know,
but you probably know what we're talking.
You probably do know.
You got any other final thoughts on the Vikes?
No, I think I poured all my thoughts out. Anything new that comes up is just going to keep it going in a cycle.
Keep snowballing.
Yeah, there'll be a lot to talk about. This is not going to be a boring off season. You know, because I was thinking about it, I was like, well, now that the season's over, you know, but there's going to be things to talk about. we're not gonna run out of things to say.
I'll take
Maybe
your
in the
word for it.
summer when we first started this, back in August, definitely those would be the dog days that we got to get through. But
No, we won't because we're going to be big Twins fans now.
yeah,
I've always been a big Twins
you've always
fan.
been a big Twins
But
fan.
you're gonna be getting
I
into
gotta
it.
start buying.
And you watch that playoffs, you got the first real playoffs you watch, we win the first round.
Yeah.
You're thinking like,
Well, the wild card, but yeah,
we should have beat the Astros, but
yeah.
it's past. Season's going to look a lot different for the Twinkies, too.
Oh,
No
yeah.
Sonny or Kenta.
No Sonny, no Kenta. You got to figure out. I mean, Pablo, yeah, he's
Pablo's the ace.
great, but
I mean, I guess you got Paddock.
you got Paddock.
Joe Ryan.
You got Joe Ryan. Yeah.
Louis Varlin, if he
Louis, if he got
starts.
called up, yeah.
Simeon Wood Richardson.
Yeah.
Jordan Babelovic.
Yeah, and then obviously you got Duran.
You
Yeah,
love Duran.
I love Duran so much. I have his jersey. Yeah. I don't know. Twins will, when it comes around to spring.
Yeah, well,
I might be going back to Arizona potentially for a spring training game.
do you know the Twins don't play down there? Right?
No, I know, but
Okay, I was going to say.
I know.
I didn't want you to be like, I'm going to go to a Twins
it's like-
wrong state.
It's like,
Going to a minor, like, goes to a spring training game and all his Twin stuff. What field are the Twins on? Well, 10,000 miles that way.
yeah, it's like shit. No, if I ever were to go back down there for that kind of for work, then the person's house that I was staying at, she's like, yeah, if you want to ever come down for a spring training game, I was like, sure.
I'll come with you.
Yeah, you can come with. We'll go to spring training game. It'll be fun. Yeah.
All right.
Where do the Twins play, by the way?
Fort Myers.
Okay. I figured it was Florida or Texas, one of the two.
No, yeah. Fort Myers. Fort Myers, Florida.
Yeah.
A humble abode.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Minnesota Twins.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the spring. And it's their rookie ball team plays there, too.
Yeah, that'd be nice to go there and actually learn the farm system. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's actually kind of nice because the Twins AAA team plays in St. Paul.
Yeah, I'd love to go to that stadium.
We should go sometime when Buxton's rehabbing. That'd be pretty fun to watch.
Byron Buxton.
We have so many options to go see him when he's rehabbing.
Yeah, he'll be there for about 40 games. So
It's only half the year.
yeah, at least in the 40 to 60 range.
Yeah,
He'll be there.
yeah 100%.
Yeah, might see Louis a few times.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think this wraps it up for another episode 20 of the greatest podcast of all time. Oh, do you think we're the greatest podcast, or do you think it's
I always go to bed knowing that we're the greatest podcast.
What about Purple for the Win or Purple Daily?
I love Purple for the Win. Shout out Andy.
We should get him on here sometime.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
JJ Vikings. He was on PA today.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was only on there for 2 minutes, but
But
still,
still.
that's like awesome.
JJ Vikings he's such a cool
We
dude.
should get him on here.
Yeah,
I think he'd come on here.
It'd
It's a
be
Viking podcast.
it'd definitely be fun. We just have to figure out how to do that.
We'd have to get him on TV. and
Right. Yeah, and I don't know how to do that stuff yet.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. No, we usually figure.
We're gonna start getting some guests on here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, see what happens.
Maybe we'll get Quasi Foments on here sometime.
Yeah.
And we'll just drill him with the questions of why didn't you take Kyle Hamilton? If you could
Right.
ask Quasi one question right now, what would you ask him?
I would.
Or Kevin O'Connell. You can pick.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it there. I'm like, so what? Actually, yeah, just like, why did you trade back from 12?
I would ask Kevin O'Connell why his game managing is so shit.
Yeah,
She'd be like, Kevin O'Connell, one question for you here.
yeah.
Why does your game planning or game time decisions just suck ass every single week?
Yeah.
Why don't you never play to win? Why do you always play not to
Yeah,
lose?
why are you such a scared little
Why is Greg Joseph still on the roster?
Yeah, I'd ask Greg Joseph a lot of questions. Like, dude, what are you thinking about when you're kicking extra points?
If you could interview one Vikings player, who would it be right now?
Like of all time or current?
Current.
Current? That'd be JJ. You kidding me?
Really?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Not your boy? Double threes?
No.
He's going crazy?
He's got to prove himself.
I would probably interview Ivan Pace, to be honest.
He seems like a fun genuine
He seems
dude.
like a fun guy to talk to because of what he puts on his Twitter.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, or Addison would be fun.
If
Kirk would be fun. Kirk would be fun, but Kirk is, like, probably, like, the type of person, like,
Kirk would be fun, but you can't joke around with him.
No, yeah. He'd be like, yeah, man, I just went to Kohl's. You know,
like,
I got a new shirt.
the thing with Addison is I don't know how much of a personality
He is
Addison
a
has.
walking NPC, dude.
Yeah, so...
He plays football, that's all he does.
Pretty much. That's just him.
Jefferson would be fun, though.
Well, I was also thinking about, like, the brand as well.
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, like, bringing in Kirk, JJ, or TJ would really help the exposure. I'm thinking about...
Obviously. Dude, JJ Vikings got Dalton on there, too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
We gotta start doing that. We could probably... Well, I don't know how do you approach him, though.
How do you tell a 13-year-old, hey?
Well, no, like, anybody.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
How do you, like, if you were, like realistically, if we wanted, like, Ivan Pace to come on here...
Yeah, you cold DM him. Pretty much. That's all you can do. It's not like you have their number or anything. You basically have to send them a DM like, hey, we'd really love you to come on, But you'd have to ask some low ball player right away. Like
Ivan Pace, dude. Undrafted free agent.
Well, now that he's had the success that he's had, he probably won't.
We could probably get Mekhi Blackman.
You could get Blackman. Theo Jackson's probably one. I mean,
Lewis
well,
I couldn't do that. I could not do that.
It's like, why are you so fucking bad?
Lewis Sean.
Oh, I swore. Damn it.
Lewis Sean.
So
why are you so bad?
Why are you so bad? What happened?
Are you concerned that you just swore? You both swore a couple of times.
I haven't. I don't think I've dropped an F-bomb in a long time.
Yeah, you did. You did earlier this episode.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, never mind.
It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
But yeah, I don't know. We should do that. We should.
Yeah, because like you look at 10,000, 10K takes. Shut up.
But they're bigger than us. They're a
right,
lot
but
bigger.
they only got Najee. So Najee's.
They've had CD.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they've had Kirk.
Oh, well, over Zoom, not in office.
I know. They've had CD in their house, their old house.
Oh, okay.
They had Burt Blyleven.
Who's that?
You don't know who Burt Blyleven is, Cam?
No.
He used to do all the Twins games when we were growing up. He would broadcast them. And he also pitched on the 91 team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Wow. But yeah, we gotta get a special guest. If you guys have any suggestions, tap in the comments. But yeah, I don't know, we're just trying to get through the first week of the offseason.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's week 1 and we're already struggling.
Yeah, there's about 230-some days until the Vikings play football again, so it's
and that's preseason.
It's tough. Yeah, that is preseason. So
no 18 or 8.
Right.
Or what number would Kool-Aid McKinstry wear?
Kool-Aid? Well, if we cut Greg Joseph, it'd be 1, I think. So, yeah,
okay.
Whatever. But Kool-Aid looked good in 9. Yeah. I don't know. But you know who else would look good in 9?
Who?
JJ McCarthy. All right.
What?
We're
good, dude.
Okay.
You're over here laughing.
No,
I'm just chilling.
I know you are.
We're having a good podcast.
Right, exactly.
We've been rolling for an hour and 37 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're cooking right now.
Okay.
No producer Bryson either.
No, producer Bryson is taking a snooze right now.
I know. He'll be on Fortnite later.
Yeah, he's got school tomorrow too.
He'll be on Fortnite.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I get paid tomorrow. Wait, no, I don't. It's not Friday. It's not Friday tomorrow. You get paid on Thursdays?
Thursday, yeah.
Really? That's weird.
Or I get to see my pay stub. It doesn't hit my bank account until.
Do you have like one of those cards that like shows you like, I don't know what it is, but they always like, oh, you can get your paycheck like 2 days before
No,
or
I
something
don't.
like that. No. Oh, okay. Interesting. Well,
we'll see you guys next time.
yeah. Well, we saw social media, Bold North Sports on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Bold North Sports podcast. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, don't say it, dude. You every week we talk about the Facebook that's not gonna happen. Cam rings me into it every time. Cam's like, I'm not gonna say. Well, we know we're talking about. We're talking about Facebook. If we figure it out, we figure it out.
It's just we're still trying to figure it out.
I'm gonna do it right after this video. I'm gonna stay here. We are gonna make a Facebook.
We just can't get it, guys. We can't figure it out.
We haven't tried. We have not tried. Sitting here every week, we say how we're gonna do it.
I swear, it's the best running joke we've had ever since.
It's gonna end 2-9.
The first few times, it was like, yeah, definitely. We'll get a Facebook out there. After that, it's just been a running joke ever since.
We have a Twitter we never use.
I sometimes post our episodes.
Dude, you
on there.
posted on one game.
Yeah.
One game we have like all these
preseason game.
all of these things. We should get more active.
We should. Yeah.
We could be like purple for the win. If you sign Kirk Cousins, you're not gonna make the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, no, he's a purple daily.
Oh.
Jeez. Right on my couch, right?
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
You'll smell it later.
Yeah, probably will.
We should probably cut this.
No, it's fine. I'm trying not to do much editing.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, that's it. Episode 20 is in the books.
Next week will be 21. And the following week will be 22.
Just kind of how it goes.
We'll see you guys next time.